Hey everybody, it's Robin with Creativity RV, and welcome to another Sunday morning View Queue, where I answer all my favorite viewer questions from the previous View Queue that was 2 weeks ago. And today, as usual, you guys have a bunch of great questions that I'm going to be going over, and here they are. Alright, let's start with something fun. I was really surprised how many of you said that you have kitchen dance parties in the morning in your RVs, and my people, okay, first of all, but Texas Thornton's one said, how's about a link to your kitchen dance party playlist? You got it. So I am going to link my playlist below so you guys can see it. I've got over 50 songs on it, so I don't know if I'll do all of them, but I'll do most of my favorite ones. So if you guys are looking for some good dance party music, then you have something to start your day too. And hey, you guys are always welcome to respond on my Instagram or, Facebook posts with a video of yourself dancing, because I'd be just fine with that if you want to do it. Alright, a little housekeeping here. I've been getting a few of these questions lately, like this one from Jessica G79, who said, I hope you are blocking and reporting all the trolls. Okay, you guys. So just really quick, I want to let you know that we're getting into a funky season again, and sometimes I do see some posts that seem to be from maybe some troll farms or some bots. This happened the last time there was an election coming. Like this, you guys. This is not a political channel, and everyone here is welcome to their own opinion within reason. If people are mean to each other or they're bullying or harassing somebody else, then I do report them and I erase them. But can you believe that I've had 2 videos recently that have had a lot of views on them? One is a year old, which I won't mention because I don't want it to happen again, but they're about RV camping, and the top comments are people arguing about the Holocaust. And so you have to wonder why that's happening. There are these trolls on all sides of politics, and my understanding is that their goal is to start dissension. So when I see things like last year I had a 6 ways to find water video, and I had a bunch of people starting fights about Black Lives Matter. I mean, when you go over to their profile, they have no history, they have no followers, they have no videos. In the About page, they're brand new, like a month-old channel, and they're putting in comments, not just about that, but like lots of different topics that seem to be there just to start fights. And so I erase those people. And if you guys see something like that, then you can do it too, because it's just going to get worse in the next year, as you can imagine. So I'm not the only one that can report people, be it trolls or people that are threatening, harassing, bullying. All of us have the capability to do that. So when you guys post a comment, there are 3 little dots to the right of your comment. Hit those 3 dots and you're going to see something that says report, and you send it to YouTube. And what happens is they pull that information, and if they find that several people, I don't know what the threshold is, but people are complaining about a particular person, they shut down their channel. It doesn't mean they don't pop right back up, but I try and look at all the comments on view queues so I can pull out the best ones, and I try and respond to comments at the beginning of my videos when they're first posted. But after that, I don't see all of them. I try, but I need your help in policing that. So if you guys need to report anybody, just know that you can do that too. Back to the happy comments. I wanted to tell you that 49 Explorer 1 said, just an FYI, Home Depot just started carrying RV parts at the store. You can go to the electrical department and find it, just basic stuff, but in a pinch, they're all over the place. I thought that was good enough, 49 Explorer, that I wanted to tell everybody else in case they didn't see that comment. And then I get this one all the time, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. Kizzy White said, hey Chica, I am looking for the link for the caftan pants. Summer season, need them, XO. Okay, so you guys know in my old intro video, I had some pants. These are a different one. I got 3 pairs of these, you guys, because I mean, they're almost like maternity pants at the top, but they're so thin. And so They're great for the summer when you want something on your legs, like if there's bugs out. I mean, you can almost see through them. I have 3 pairs, at least I started out with 3, but Doug has one of them. He loves it. They're so comfortable, and they have a little elastic on the ankle, and yeah, these are great. I have them in 3 pairs. I think they were like $14. They weren't expensive, but I'm going to put the link at the top of comments because so many of you asked me about them. The next comment really is from Utah Road Base, who, hey girl, love you. I wanted to tell you what she said about mobile RV repair guys, because I get so many questions still about this, because you know they have saved my bacon a couple of times. So she said, we had 4 problems with our new to us RV last summer, and of course, all the dealerships were totally booked for weeks. This is a problem, you guys, in the summer. It took 2 days for mobile repairman to occur to me. We were charged a fee for him to come out for an hour. A few of the things we learned, though, are invaluable. Plus, if I ever need repairs, we won't bother with the dealership again.
Here we go again.
A few of the things we learned, though, were invaluable. We won't bother with dealerships or shops again. Our mobile guy explained his thought process, showed us what he was doing, and explained why he was doing it. So we also got to learn about diagnosing issues with our fridge, electrical, and propane. Again, priceless. So I get this question a lot. How do you find a mobile repair guy? So I'm just going to say again, you Google mobile repair guy near me. Every time I've had a mobile guy come out, which is 3, and they've just saved me, I said, how do you find a good mobile guy for my viewers? And they said, look at the reviews, make sure that they have a nice history on the reviews, they're consistent, and also that they don't try and charge you for the little stuff. Mobile RV guys get paid to diagnose and repair your thing, not just to swap out a part. Because a lot of times when you go to dealerships, they're swapping out a part, but they haven't taken the time to see if the part is the problem. So mobile RV guys rule. I've been surprised that they're not as expensive as I thought they were going to be. The guy that just came and fixed my solar was here for a couple of hours, had to leave and get parts, come back, got up on the roof, fixed my stuff, and it was $290. So it's worked great for me, and I'll tell you this, I did get my dealership to reimburse me for the last 2. It's possible. Okay, GM1 says, do you have the big Berkey in your RV? Do you have both the black and white filters installed on your Berkey? Do you leave the filters installed when traveling? Do they break? Is there any movement? Thanks. Okay, so here's a shot of my travel Berkey. I do not have the big Berkey. It was more than I needed. The travel Berkey is great. These things filter water kind of slowly, so every morning I get a big thing of water from the sink and I pour it into my Berkey and I drink that water all day long, and the Berkeys will filter out like anything. I mean, they're just amazing. No, I did not get the white filters, which I think are for fluoride. I just got the black ones. Here's a shot of how I have it set up right here. I have seen people that have kept their Berkeys on bungees on their kitchen sink or on a ledge in their shower held on with bungees. But what I found is that I could put it into an 8-inch planter that was just a wooden planter, and I just put some foam in the back so it didn't jiggle around, and then I command stripped, like you guys know I do everything, the planter holder to the wall. I love my Berkey. A few of you have asked me about this, because even if you get potable water and you have a filter in your RV, sometimes, you know, you can just be a little unsure of the water. And I have purchased water in plastic jugs at the grocery store, and you know, I've had them in an outside bin, let's say, and then you drink them and all you taste is plastic, and that's just tap water anyway. So the Berkey has stopped me from having to purchase water, because now I can drink it out of my fresh tank. I put it through the Berkey, I drink it. I've never had a problem with anything breaking, and I think it's because of the system I came up with the planter. So of course the links for that are in my gear page for both of those things. Oh, and so I'm going to jump ahead actually, because down below somebody said, hi Robin, as always, great information. I couldn't locate the link for your tire gauge. Please advise. Okay, so in the description for my videos and at the top of comments, you're going to see one link for all my gear that takes you to my Amazon page where all of my recommendations are. I try and update the one that says as seen recently on YouTube, so that stuff is right up at the top. I did that with the gauge and like my Quickset pop-up clam, which I'm so obsessed with. I'll do that with the Berkey after this, but there are categories. So like kitchen goods, USB devices, things to stay comfortable, to stay cool, the pants that I just talked about, all of that can be in there, but it's all under that one link. So I hope that helps. Okay, moving on to the other questions. Tripping Toad says, VQ question. Do you ever feel exposed living in public areas? Are you able to relax? Is it something that comes with time on the road? I want to enjoy van living, but I feel on edge because people can intrude so easily. Okay. So I did feel a lot more exposed in the beginning, and that does get better over time. In fact, I have to tell you, if you guys go back, I did a video traveling through San Francisco, and Doug was with me. And by this time, I think I'd been on the road 6 months or something, and we ended up staying at a rest area that was right on the Golden Gate Bridge. The rules at rest areas in California are that you can stay 8 hours. It was a big tourist destination during the day, and then everybody cleared out, and at night you could tell there were people in their vans and their RVs that were either traveling through or probably lived there because they were working in the city, and it's so expensive there. Well, here's what's funny about it. By this time I thought I was an old hat, you know, and there was a police station there, and Doug was, of course, new. This is, I think, the first real trip he had taken with me in the RV. And he kept like getting up on his knees and looking out the window behind the Murphy bed and going, "Baby, there's a tow truck." And I'm like, "Yeah." Like I'm half asleep. He's like, "There's a tow truck right there." And I'm like, "Yeah, he's probably resting. It's a rest area." Or he'd be like, "Baby, there's a cop." And I'm like, "Yeah, we're okay with this is within the rules." So you do get a little bit better. You know, in the beginning, if a branch, you know, hit the edge of the RV, or I heard some rustling outside, like of an animal, I would be peering out the windows. I'd turn off all the lights, and I was so freaked out. And then after a few months, I mean, there'd have to be a big noise to get me worried. Actually, that's kind of a double-edged sword, because the other day I was sitting out in my Clam. I had left the zipper door open, and I was very into the work I was doing. You know, had my little desk out there, and I was working, and all of a sudden a giant dog ran into my tent, and there was no owner, there was no nothing, and I was like, wow, if a dog can run in here and I don't know that, then I have not been on guard enough. And I realized that I had not brought any of my safety stuff outside with me. Usually I have a couple of items that keep me safe. So if anybody comes up on me in my campsite outside, I'm prepared. So that gave me a wake-up call, because I was anxious to get outside and do my work, and so I wasn't careful enough. But do I feel exposed? It depends on where I'm camping. That's another reason I really like this pop-up Clam, because it's hard to see in through the mesh, and so I can spend a lot of time outside. You know, usually if you're just in a chair, people, if they're camping around you, can look over and see you, and you know, it's hard to take like a nap or something outside in a nice breeze if they can see you. So I like that for that reason. I close my blinds at night because I've got lights on inside. They can see in at night. But then when the sun goes down, I turn off all the lights inside and I open up all the blinds, and I can see everything outside, and I don't feel exposed at all. So I think it does get better with time, but it also just changes by situation. Hey, Creativity RV people, put down in the comments below what you think about that. I would love to know from the community. Do you feel exposed? And where do you feel exposed, and how do you combat that for our friend here? Okay, I got a couple of questions here, and I've gotten questions on other videos about my book. And like you guys know, I just came out with updates on the book, and people say, how do I get the updates on Kindle? How do I know if I have the most updated version? So there's a link below at the top of comments for my blog, because in my blog from this week, please subscribe if you haven't already to the blog. There's a lot of content there that you don't see here. I do put a link for a walkthrough that tells everybody how to update their system. Karen Miller says, just wondering, does Big Boy ever go outside? And if so, does he have a leash? Has he ever been outside and got a fright and bolted? And then Dora Banks said, question on the Clam, have you tried letting your cat stay with you in there? I have 2 cats and was thinking of ways they can go outside. Okay, well, first of all, let me show you a couple of videos of the boy. This is him trying to be on a leash. What a nightmare. I know that people take time and they train their cats, and I wanted him to be able to go outside, but he just rolled around on the leash. What are you doing? Do you like it out here? Yeah. Big boy. Oh, I know. I know.
You lose.
And it was a nightmare. And I actually did get him a little pop-up kitty tent so he could sit outside next to me in his own tent, which was nice and spacious. And he just cried. He just wasn't having it. I have not tried to put him in the Clam yet because I've been perfecting how to get the stakes down into the ground so he can't get out. But I am going to do that because the poor boy now wants to go out. He's going through a phase right now where he wants to sit in the door when I'm outside and just cry and cry and cry. And then he gets a little worked up like this. What you doing, boy? You looking out the window? Somebody's in a mood today. So clearly he needs to get some exercise and he likes to play, and he's an older cat, but you know, he's still got a little play left in him. And so I am going to be taking him outside into the Clam, so stay tuned because I am going to do a video on the Clam showing you guys how I put it up and take it down and how I store it. And then I'll show you if it worked for the cat or if it didn't work for the cat, because I'm anxious to find that out myself. And then Ann Adams said, Robin, do you know about growing microgreens? Yes, I do, Anne. This is my latest. Aren't these pretty? They've got about 3 days to go before I can harvest them, but I don't even remember which ones these are. I got so many. Broccoli. I think these are broccoli sprouts. I could be wrong, but isn't that fun? So you guys know I've done some gardening videos. I probably won't do a lot more because it, you know, it doesn't apply to a lot of people. But you can see this on my Amazon page too, but I just got this little carrier and I use coconut coir in here. And you guys, if you're trying to get more greens in your diet, these grow in a week. You just cut them off and put them on your baked potato or in your soup or on your sandwich or whatever. And they're super nutritious. So yes, I do know about that and I love it, and I eat them like every day. Wendy Carter 1 says, hey Robin, I realize I'm off topic, but I don't understand the whole inverter thing. Can you expound on that? So yeah, maybe I'll do a whole video on this later, but this is something that I found confusing when I first got on the road too. Because you know, when you're in a house, you've got the outlet, you've got the plug, you plug the thing in, it works. You don't have to worry about power, or, you know, how much power you have in reserve or what works in what kind of an outlet. So this can be a little bit confusing, but here's what you need to know. Like I said before, you have a starter battery up in your engine if you have an all-in-one like I do, like a Class C. And then you have house batteries or coach batteries back in the actual RV, or maybe you have that in your van. Those batteries work on a certain current called a 12 volt. So think about your cigarette lighter up in front of your car. That's a 12 volt outlet, okay? So some of you may have RVs that have a 12 volt outlet, and then you have to put 12 volt appliances into them. I don't have that, so everything I do, as you know, that I can do is USB or 110. So when I say 110, here's what that means. When you're in a house and you plug something like your hair dryer into the little 2-prong outlet, that is a 110 outlet. So in order for that type of power that's in your battery, which is 12 volt, to transfer over to the plug, the 110 plug where you plug in like your hair dryer, the type of power needs to be inverted. So I think about it almost like a translator, like a Rosetta Stone or something, where it takes the power from your battery and makes it readable inside of your 110 outlets. Now look, you guys, I'm not an electrician, and I know some super like tech wonky people are going to get on here and explain it better, but that's really what you need to know. So your inverter will only invert certain plugs, usually in an RV. So if you're looking for an RV, it's important to ask them which outlets are inverted. Now I asked this when I bought my last one, and my sales guy said, well, all of them, of course, and they weren't. Like the one in my kitchen is not inverted. And so actually I just grabbed this because I was using it for my light here, but I wanted to show you my new lithium battery box. So you guys know that I had the yellow one that like ran Doug's CPAP, and in my video, Always Be Charging the ABCs of Power, I said whenever the sun was out, I'm charging my little lithium box, but I dropped it, and I got another one, and I dropped it. So I went with a smaller one this time. This one is cheaper, and you can see here I've got something plugged into the 110 outlet. It's also got a 12 volt and 4 USB rapid chargers, and it's like a little purse. You know, it's great. It's a great size. So during the day, when I have a lot of sun outside, I'm charging my boxes, and then at night I have any kind of power that I need. And I need this because not all of my plugs are inverted. So here's a good way to look at it. Let's say that you're not plugged up to shore power and your generator is not on, and you try and plug something in, let's say your blow dryer, and it doesn't work. It's because there's no power getting to that outlet. In order for the regular household, you know, two-prong outlets to work in an RV, they have to be on the inverter, which is getting power from your battery going through the inverter into that plug, or you have to have shore power, or your generator has to be on in general. Now, I know some people are going to have different wiring and a different setup, but that's generally true. So I hope that helps. I know that everybody out there hears about amps and volts and all of this stuff, but the basics are that you have a battery. That battery speaks one kind of language. That's how I look at it. It goes up to the inverter, and the inverter translates it into a language that your blow dryer can understand. In a nutshell. If anybody has anything to add about inverters, please do put it down in the comments below so everybody in the community can learn from that. I appreciate it. Okay, and then finally, Light Trip and Robin, new subby here. I know you've got a bunch of videos out. Can you tell me your top 10 so I can go back and watch those first? Thank you for asking that, actually. You made me think of something that I've been wanting to tell you guys. Because if you're new to the channel, you can go back over 100 videos and not find what you're looking for. And so I'll get questions like, a lot, like what's boondocking? Where do you get water? Are you scared to drive in high wind? You know, stuff like that. And a lot of times these are answered already in previous videos. I'm going to give you my top 10, but also the top 10 for the most common questions that are asked that are really answered in these videos with a lot more information than I would give here in a view queue. So here they are. This was fun, you guys, because it made me go back, you know, the whole like 14 months I think it's been that I've been on YouTube, and even I forget about some of these videos. So thanks for the question. Yeah, this is like, you know, the core group of videos, if you're brand new, that I think are great to watch. Thanks again for all your questions. If you do have a question for this channel, even if you see it on another video, if you really want me to see it, do put the question over here on the view queue, because I do read all of the comments and questions here. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do consider doing so. And follow me on Instagram and Facebook, because there's content there that you don't see, as well as on my blog. I hope to see you all out on the road someday, and I'll see you again in the next view queue, which is in 2 weeks. Until then, everybody have happy travels out there, and be free.